I remember details, events and people. The world had an order.
What's your name?
Spike?
No. I think your name is Jimmy.
The foundations. They seemed unshakable.
Hello and welcome to WDYWW Spoilercast for 28 years later, The Bone Temple. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Joining me today is Dylan Blight.
Happy to be here talking about why sometimes it's okay to hide that big dong. Wrap that sucker up, you know?
Just put a cloth on it.
Put a cloth on it.
Yes, today we're talking about the latest entry in the 28 days. I don't know how would you describe this franchise? What would you give the overall
franchise? Name? 28, 31. 28. It sounds like a rapper.
Yeah, it's just the 28 days franchise, I guess. You just go whatever the first film was.
Well, I mean, it's like there's two films and now we're in the 28 years later series, I guess.
Yes.
So,
all right, let's just dive straight in. Please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about plot themes and in the movie. So if you haven't watched it, come back later. With that said, let's talk about 28 years later, The Bone Temple, directed by Nia DaCosta, written by Alex Garland, starring Ray Fiennes, Jack O'Connell, Alfie Williams, Erin Kellyman, and Lewis-Parry. In a continuation of the epic story, Dr. Kelson makes a discovery that could change the world as they know it, and Spike's encounter with Jimmy Crystal becomes a nightmare he can't escape. In the world of the Bone Temple, the infected are no longer the only threat to survival. The inhumanity of survivors can be stranger and more terrifying. And we both thoroughly enjoyed 28 years later. It's only been 6 months.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I posted it on my Instagram, like, here's where I was in July. Same seat later in January.
I sort of love that, though. Like, I remember we obviously said it when we talked about the first movie.
Yes.
Like, knowing that there was a sequel coming
for sure.
Fast.
Yeah.
And not in a like, oh, they're going to rush a sequel sort of way.
No, it was planned sort of like, Lord of the Rings-esque.
Yeah, like especially the fact it was like handed off to a different filmmaker and like, even though it was written by the same person, but like, here, you go do this. So I like it.
All right. What did you think of The Bone Temple?
I loved it. I've seen a lot of people, there's the whole, is it better than that? Which is to a degree, I think, like a redundant conversation to have about, which one's better sort of thing. They're very different movies, but I sort of think they're both fantastic. And this one is equally as enjoyable as the Danny Boyle film, but just very different because you chuck a different filmmaker behind it and you end up with a different sort of result. But with Ralph Fiennes at the lead here, he puts on this I think Oscar nomination worthy performance he was really good in the first one, but obviously he's the star here. And it's weird to say, but the movie is both, I think it's actually more gory and horrific than the previous one. And I was wondering how you would go for one particular scene that was in it. When I was sitting in the cinema watching it, I straight away thought of you as it started happening.
It's like, listen, we're going to take some shirts off. And you're like, oh, Ashley's going to hate it.
Yeah.
He tastes to take your shirt off.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. But then also it's like, whereas the first film ended, and I mean, zombie films as a genre are known for being, very like dour and unhopeful, and like apocalypse films is the sort of genre of which they sit within, end of the world sort of stuff. This movie manages to actually be rather hopeful amongst all the, like, it's meaner and darker than the previous one. It's also funnier and more hopeful and has like a light at the end of the tunnel that's presented by the end of it. So I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one as well. I think it's definitely a little bit, I don't think the tone of the film is going to be for everybody, just because it's kind of juxtaposed of these really dark, mean spirited moments. And then it's two buddies getting high in the middle of the forest and sitting around dancing with each other, Just there's those two elements being juxtaposed. And it is also very slight on plot. Like, in the grand scheme of things, very little happens in the film. Because
definitely a lot less than the
first one,
like
where
the first
it's like
film
we're setting
has
up
like
the world and all that kind of stuff. It's like a couple of things happen during this movie, but it's more definitely a tone piece and character piece with the
and it feels smaller, I guess. And
yes, in that regard, I think the payoff of Jimmy Crystal was definitely worth it because of the Jimmys, we'd speculated all about them beforehand, based on the snippet that we got at the end of the last movie, and they definitely lived up to what we thought they were going to be, you know, right from the offset. So, but yeah, I mean, Ray Fiennes, fantastic. Just incredibly shot. Like a lot, not as much of the 50 cameras, 50 iPhones around somebody that was in the first film, but you could definitely tell that this was shot by a director familiar with the horror genre, and probably had one of the best jump scares at the end out of nowhere that I did see coming. But
I know what you're talking about. Which one?
Which
part? Oh, when he comes,
Jimmy Crystal
back in the camera.
Yeah, he's like crying to the sky, and then Jimmy Crystal gets taken out by somebody. All right, let's run through the plot through number one film source, Wikipedia. All right, shortly after being rescued by the Fingers gang, led by the charismatic Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal, Spike is initiated into the group following a forced fight into the death with Jimmy Shite. So Jimmy renamed Spike Jimmy, in keeping with his practice of giving all Fingers variations of the name, including the empathetic Jimmy Inc. and the sadistic Jemima. What do you think of this opening scene of, I mean, it's like some sort of deserted water park.
Yeah, it's like a pool. It's a aquatic center of some sort. Yeah.
A case of, listen, you can either die or you fight a Jimmy and join the gang. Those are the only two solutions.
Yeah. Obviously based how the end of the last film ended, and because the film doesn't actually open with the Jimmy straight away, so it's like as soon as you see them, you're sort of like you're ready for some weird shit based on how 28 years later it ended, and seeing him sitting on his throne and like just how decked out in jewelry and the oddities of all of them. Yeah, just straight away you're like, this is some weird cult shit, and it is some weird cult shit.
Yes, just just the way that the other Jimmy dies of a stab to the leg.
Yep,
hitting
straight into the artery.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just kind of slowly bleeding out, you know. And again, Jimmy Crystal like kind of being this overbearing figure, and you know, weirdly wanting to hear what his final moments are like, how he's feeling, you know, kind of stuff.
He's here. I can. Lord Father. He's watching now.
Did you click straight away about who was referring, who he believed his father was?
No, but I mean, like, I think at some point, I'd say not here, but at some point between here and when you first hear him say it, like my brain subconsciously, I guess, had assumed as much, because the first time you ever hear it say it, like, I didn't go, oh, I was just like, yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Meanwhile, Dr. Ian Kelson continues the maintenance of the Bone Temple as a ossuary memorial to those killed during the initial outbreak, as well as interacting with the local alpha he named Samson. Samson keeps returning to the Bone Temple with Kelson, deducing he has grown addicted to the effects of the sedative from his blowpipe and is intentionally letting himself be drugged, becoming more lucid under his influence. A friendship between the two appears to form, with Samson no longer feeling compulsion to attack the uninfected Kelson, eating berries rather than raw meat, and at one point, to the disappointment of fans, clothing himself. Kelson kisses the euthanizing Samson until he hears the alpha mutter the word moon, leading Kelson to believe the virus is treatable. Lot to cover here.
Yeah, I mean this is the heart of the movie, is because you never, I don't say never, because I mean it's not like I've watched every apocalypse or zombie movie, but you never actually see, no one ever does the cure storyline or anything like that. And if they do,
They
you never
attempt.
see it happen.
No,
Yeah.
it's always they try to find a cure and then something gets fucked up.
Yeah. Or if they do think they find it, it's like the movie ends with them, like it gives you like a hopeful, but you don't see the results sort of thing. Yeah, a sort of this relationship is obviously I think there's just so many levels to it because it's like you've got a man who somehow manages to keep enough hope in him to even try, which I think in itself, 28 years after a end of the world, at least for him.
28 years of living like this. Yeah.
Living like this, yeah. Like the fact that he even has enough hope within him to even give it a go, I think is enough interest. Or even not even having a go,
I don't know if
but
it's
have
hope,
enough,
it's just curiosity, I think it's
have enough curiosity still about things in the world and not just turn on it. But yeah, he's such an interesting character. The fact that he doesn't even like, and I mean he was in the first film, but just someone who, you know, he's not out to kill them all and ever, like he still views them as people. Which I'm not sure. I was trying to, you know, because it's a rage virus. It's not and that's always been the thing with this series. Like you do go straight to like calling them zombies because they are, but like it's always been sold as it's the rage virus and all this other sort of stuff. So I've always tried to work out if there's any sort of allegory there and like what potentially Garland's trying to do here. But
yeah, I thought it was also interesting that he did go back and get I assume based on placement, the pregnant woman from the first film and take her body and add her to the ossuary.
Yeah, which we never really, because he goes through the whole whatever process to get the bones at the start of the movie. And I assume at that point watching it, I was like, oh, maybe he'll start like trying to work out more about that and what the baby, how she even had a baby and all these other things.
It's like, nope, she's dead.
No, we're just moving on for that. But the other crazy thing to think about, and I mean, we're getting a third film now. They did say
they
that
confirmed it.
So
yeah,
they confirmed it,
and it would be a crime after how this movie ends as well. But yeah,
exactly. But it's like when it was happening, I was like, oh yeah, there's the babies out there. You know what I mean? Like the babies.
Yeah,
we don't see the baby this movie, but
don't see what's his face, Aaron Taylor Johnson at all.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, it's such a self-contained movie compared to the larger systems going on. Yeah,
I believe in the previous films we saw point of view of the infected, right? You know,
you would see
because in the second movie at least you see what
just the typical like
see.
Rage, but you don't see what they show you here, which is like the POV shot of Samson looking at like seeing the horned creature, whatever he view like how you want to say that's called, but like he views that person before he ripped his head off as some like weird creature that he's attacking. So I think that they've never done anything like that before. Usually they just do like put a filter over the camera and make it darker and all red tinted and, you know.
I thought he saw a version of himself at least one time. You know what I mean?
Before,
was that,
maybe
I can't remember.
I have to go
clearly
back,
it's been a few days. Yeah. Every little moment. I thought it was also interesting. I don't think we saw it too much, but like Kilson's bunker and like all his belongings and like, you know, that's the only thing that he's wearing, that one suit. So it does not smell great. But somehow
why would you care? Yeah. Why would you care?
You know, helps keep the infection away in theory with all the iodine, you know. But all the mementos and little bits of stuff he's been able to salvage, you know, including a record player because, you know, physical media forever, right?
There we go. See? Now we're talking. Not only does he have vinyl, he's also got the wind-up
projector or something.
Projector system going, yeah.
Okay. He sort of found this random bunker in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
I mean, and also something to be said about the actual physical photographs because that's the other thing that people are really thinking. Like if the apocalypse happens tomorrow, you got all your phones on, your photos of loved ones and stuff on your Instagram account or your photo reel on your iPhone.
It's all gone.
All gone, baby. Once that phone's flat, which we saw in the first movie.
Yeah. Rough. All right. The Fingers raid a farm inhabited by survivors, including a man named Tom and his pregnant partner, Kathy. Kathy escapes while the others are captured, with Sir Jimmy ordering the Fingers to skin alive the remaining survivors as a sacrifice to Satan, whose voice Sir Jimmy claims to hear as his son, causing Spike to leave the barn vomiting in disgust. So Jimmy offers Tom a place among his fingers if he wins a fight to the death like the one Spike participated in. Tom selects Jemima as his opponent, believing her to be the weakest member, but is quickly outmatched. As Jemima prepares to kill Tom, Kathy emerges from behind a hiding spot in the barn's loft and swings a hook that impales Jemima's skull, killing her. In the resulting confusion, Tom manages to set the barn on fire, killing a finger and burning several others before being killed himself. As Kathy flees, so Jimmy dispatches Spike to capture her. Instead, Spike begs Kathy to take him with her. She feigns her agreement, then incapacitates Spike when his guard is down and escapes successfully. And a lot here. With
I mean, this
all the way from the start of the of Kathy and Tom like leaving one of their own to be taken out by the zombies. But yes, the whole sequence of them being in the barn, wanting hospitality and kind of the tension that was in that was pretty intense. Even with the Teletubbies dance.
But you do get, because obviously this is the first scene you really get to see some sort of a dynamic between them all, because obviously at the start the fight doesn't really show too much, but here you get to see a bit more about how they're played out and the oddities of their relationship and them all being called Jimmy and how they'll do every stupid thing that Jimmy says, Sir Jimmy says. And then when you get to the barn scene, obviously shit gets really fucked up and but at first I was like, when he starts going, it's like picking, I'm like, is he just like an insane dude that doesn't actually believe this stuff? And it wasn't until he goes down and speaks to Kelso that I was like, oh no, he's actually like, he's not someone who's doing fucked up shit and like covering it with an excuse of he's like tricked everyone to doing his fucked up shit because he's just saying it and got everyone to believe it. He believes his own bullshit.
To a degree.
That's the thing. Yeah, to a degree. But like he does believe he's on this mission from
the Dark Lord, yes.
The Dark Lord, yeah. Which ultimately, I mean, the whole I mean, at least the way I took it, and whether or not it's meant to be taken this way, I don't know. But I just take it as like how a child who sees and goes through such a traumatic event, I guess, can be affected in such a like absolutely mental way. And that's
because you do have to remember the last time he saw his father was in the church.
Yeah.
Welcoming the infected to come and devour him.
Yeah.
So this is a dude with a lot of fucked up trauma, and
it
is manifested in wanting to deal out charity, all people of the land,
I also don't think this movie has anything good to say about religion at all. Is the other way I sort of took it.
Very few redeeming things about religion.
Yeah.
Satanists are not having a good time with this film.
No.
It's like, it's a very poor depiction of our belief structure. But yes, grateful that they did not linger too long on the skinning alive, But there was enough.
They did enough. They did enough to make it fucked up, and definitely
10 out of 10 sound design.
Yeah, I definitely can imagine it would be super uncomfortable for someone like yourself who doesn't watch a bunch of horror movies and stuff. But they didn't go to like.
Is that fair game? Like pretty standard for horror movies. In your opinion?
Well, I'm just like it's I think it's effective because I mean I rewatched Terrifier on Christmas Eve and like we ain't going to those levels.
No. If Jemima had followed through on her depanting, maybe that would have been
something. Yeah,
really saved him. He got off light in comparison to what it could have been.
It's definitely like. Would you say like I do that? This one's more violent though. Like it
definitely has more violent moments.
Yeah.
I mean, probably overall, because I mean, most of the killing in the first film is of zombies, which at this point is just, I think we're all desensitized to.
Yeah.
So this one where actual people are getting killed, especially
Human
by
on human.
humans, you know,
Yeah.
it's a little bit more violent, especially the way that, because it is maybe not as common ways that people are dying. Like he's getting killed, he takes a knife to the leg and bleeds out. That is arguably more violent, I guess, than, you know, someone getting shot in a fucking Fast and Furious movie or something like that, you know.
The other thing it had me thinking about, and I kind of want to do another do a rewatch of the first one now. But do you remember that? Like, I can't remember exactly what had happened to him, but you know how they find the person, Aaron Taylor Johnson, when he's with the kid. They go into the house and they find that person who's like hung
been
up
strung
or
up,
whatever,
yeah.
who's been strung up and stuff. Like that person has been.
Well, I think it was infected, right?
No, I don't think it was. I think if it was because he died. They died and then turned into an infected. But they find on the house or whatever. Like there's writing if you look on the house that says like Jimmy Forever or Jimmy Lives or and some shit like that. I remember noticing that. But like now I'm watching this one, it's like I would have to rewatch it. But I'm pretty sure now with the context.
Yeah, I mean, in the initial context, I think that's what my mind thought. But now, if the Jimmys visited somebody, what if they just left somebody with charity? They dished out their version of charity and left this dude here.
Yeah, because when you watch the first movie, you just think that it's like they've just killed someone, right? But now you're like, no, they did charity on
a living person rather than, yeah. In my mind, it was always an infected person that they've just cut on for fun.
No,
but it could have been a living person, which makes it even more sad that I guess Spike killed a real person.
Yeah, so now I think it was it could have been a zombie though, because
it could have been infected since.
It could have been so it could have been someone who they did charity, left, they died, they turned.
Yeah. Which makes it a little bit easier for Spike, but
yeah.
But yeah, Spike suing his guts out.
Yeah, fair.
As you do.
Yeah.
And just kind of the comedic nature of all of it going to shit.
Yeah.
Like
there is an element of that.
Yeah. The barn going on fire, and then he uses like a gas cylinder to set one of the others on fire.
Turns into a flamethrower.
And just, it catches fire.
I think the funniest part to me was Erin Kellyman, who's outside as one of the Jimmys.
Yes.
Effen's Nest, you know. Shout out to Solo. She's out. I can only be the only person making that reference. She's outside having building this relationship with Spike. But the funniest thing to me was just the like screams, you know. Something going on.
Those don't sound like normal screams.
They don't sound like normal screams, do they? Spike's like, it's like, I just don't think. And there's like, it comes bursting out fire. It's just like the weird conversation of like, they don't sound like normal screams, do they? It's like, what the fucking normal screams like?
It's such like a random henchman, like outside of before Batman breaks out and kills it, beats everybody up.
I'll say also shout out to her, who I hope gets so much more time to like build that character in the third film. Because obviously she's sort of restrained here, having to play within the Jimmy role confines and stuff like that. But she was a standout to me. I think she has so many good moments and stuff. But shout out to that fucking knife, slit throat, and dodge roll, the absolute infected style of that infected.
Just the nonchalance.
Yeah,
I've done this a gazillion times.
Yeah,
I know exactly how to.
That,
yeah, and I mean, all of the second half of this movie could have been resolved if Kathy had just taken Spike with her. Kelson would still be alive, if not for Kathy, who I'm pretty sure kicked Spike in the balls. That's how he went down. All right. With their number more and morale depleted, Sir Jimmy lashes out at Spike for his failure to capture Kathy. An increasingly disaffected Ink intercedes, believing that Kelson is Satan because of his orange-dyed skin in interactions with Samson, and suggests that they visit him. Leading the survivors to the Bone Temple, Sir Jimmy confronts Kelson alone and threatens to kill him if he does not impersonate Satan in order to maintain the illusion for the fingers.
Their conversation was great.
Yes.
Like just really good back and forth. Just two complete opposite sides of the coin. But again, Kelso is just someone who's willing to engage
Kelson.
for that.
You
Kelson,
keep saying Kelso, and then I keep imagining
sorry, Kelson,
Ashton Kutcher from that 70s show.
He keeps just the willingness to engage. I guess that curiosity
Yes.
shows on him once again, because he's like, who is this person? Like, sort of asking questions and willing to go.
Yeah.
And then
Just
him
the
also,
juxtaposition of him completely orange, covered in iodine, like random clothes, and then Sir Jimmy with his tracks, long blonde.
yeah, and all the gold
chains and rings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy visual.
Yeah. Shout out to Alex Garland for so far these two films, because my man does not write what you would call normal genre.
No.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. And then just the him also having his own nonchalant part about them, where Jimmy's like, and if you don't, I'll strip out your whatever and feed them to you, or whatever he says. Like,
He does suggested some sort of violent end. Yeah. And this was also kind of an interesting, like, dropping of the mask for Jimmy, for us as the audience. That he, to a certain extent, he is bullshitting these Jimmys and wants to keep them under his control. And he is kind of bullshitting his way through everything.
he's bullshitting, but at the same time, he was like, he was sort of happy that it wasn't actually the Dark Lord devil himself, Satan, because that would have ruined his control over
Yes.
all of them. But then it's also like, you hear in the conversation, he's very happy it's not actually him, because he gets to keep his control over his fingers and
Mhm.
whatnot. But at the same time, he was sort of disappointed because he does believe it and would have liked to have met his dad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, just a very interesting conversation. And then the fact that Kelson just agrees to go along with it. I guess you have to in a situation like that.
Yeah. I mean, what choice do you have, I guess?
Absolutely.
But he goes about it in such a special way.
If you're going to go about it, fully commit. You know what I mean? You have to. All right. The following morning, Spike attempts to sneak away from Sir Jimmy's camp, but is confronted by Jimmy Fox, who tries to kill him in retaliation for Jimmy shite. Inc. intervenes, killing Fox in defense of Spike, and they return to camp claiming that Fox had attempted to flee in fear of Satan. At the Bone Temple, Kelson, fearing the worst, gives Samson a cocktail of antipsychotics, suspecting that the hyperaggression of the infected is actually caused by psychosis. Following this, Samson is drawn to the nearby abandoned train where he was initially infected. He hallucinates, experiencing a memory of riding the train in his childhood. In his hallucination, he is approached by a train guard, asking for his tickets. When he tells her, "I don't have a ticket," allowed the infected in the train car attack him as if he was uninfected.
Yeah. Obviously, a real big moment for the series. It's really interesting because it's sort of like he gets his humanity back, but it's also like all of the bonus.
He's no longer the Alpha.
Yeah, but he's also, he still has the healing. It's implied. He still has the strength and all that sort of stuff that the virus has brought on. But his humanity returns or whatever to a degree that the rest sense him as normal human, even though he's still not. Like, he's a hybrid now.
Well, I think it's just the fact that he spoke and none of these infected could speak. So naturally they've been trained.
That was a funny moment also. Like, dark humor, but considering there's
he's just sitting there in a train
Yeah.
car full of infected saying, "I don't have a ticket."
Yeah, I don't have a ticket. It was also just bubbles. I don't have a ticket. You know, I do feel like, hold on, I did his name because I was going to show. So that Lewis-Parry, who does Samson both these movies. Obviously, in the first movie, everyone's just like, rip dude running over
What a dong.
which also has been clarified several times over between the first movie and the second movie. It's not actually his dong, prosthetic. All the dongs in these films are prosthetic, but that's fine. We don't need to ruin the.
It's fine. We don't need to break the illusion too much.
It's break the illusion. Yeah. I think he's done such a. It's really weird to say that a infected / zombie has a character arc from across these two movies, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at. That has never been done before.
It's not true. There's that Nicholas Hoult zombie movie.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, true.
But yeah, really interesting. Obviously, him fighting them all off, very impressive.
And looking like he's going to lose, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he was severely outnumbered. So to see, I thought that was it for him. It's like, fuck, what a tragic end. Like, do you get your humanity back only to be killed
all those who were following you
within the darkness of this world? So
yeah.
That night, Kelson plays along with Sir Jimmy's plan to regain control over the Fingers by impersonating Satan through a pyrotechnics-laden performance of Iron Maiden's The Number of the Beast, while exposing them to hallucinogenics. Side note, do you reckon that they know that 666 is the number of the beast?
Surely he would have said. He's hit him with all the other like stereotype, like upside down crosses and every sacrifice. Like, surely, can only presume. But what a performance.
Yeah, poor 10 out of 10 commitment, to the bit.
There is a moment too when the song starts playing and it's like, you're sitting in the cinema watching going, what a wild movie. Like, just like when the song starts and like he pops out and everything, I was like, what a fucking movie.
Just fucking fire everywhere. Fucking crazy. However, upon recognizing Spike, Kelson attempts to persuade the gang to crucify Sir Jimmy to save Spike. Sir Jimmy, seeking to end the ruse that Kelson is Satan and avoid crucifixion, fatally stabs Kelson, only for Spike to then stab Sir Jimmy as Ink kills the other remaining Fingers. Spike comforts the dying Kelson while Ink impales Sir Jimmy on an inverted cross. Spike and Ink, who reveals her name to be Kelly, leave into the wilderness. Samson arrives, who Sir Jimmy hallucinates as Satan, and greets the dying Kelson by name and thanks him. After Kelson succumbs to his wounds, his body is carried away by Samson, while Sir Jimmy is left to be killed by the infected.
Goes out like such a little bitch. It was great.
He does, just the screaming out, "Why have you forsaken me?"
Yeah.
Just the visual of him being in that inverted cross.
Father, why? Like, it's just
yeah.
Anytime a movie, especially like within like such a short time frame of basically a movie and a bit, manages to build up someone so well that you're like, fuck this dude. Like, you're like evil.
It's very
and then when you
feel vindicated when they die.
To see their death, and then like go out so well. Just, Father, why have you forsaken me? I was like, oh, good shit.
But yeah, like I said, great final moments of him hallucinating, because obviously during the performance,
he sprayed them with some.
He sprayed them with, I'm assuming, cocaine.
Yeah,
that's some sort of powder.
Dust, yeah.
So he is hallucinating that Samson is actually the devil because of his skin tone and imagining him with horns. So his final moments are all done from his POV, and then he's just staring at the stars just a little bit too long that it's coming. But then, yes, an infected comes and eats his face, which is just an infected right in front of the camera.
Cut to.
Yeah, I mean, also impressive for Kelson to recognize Spike under that mask.
Yeah, I was wondering because like there was a split second where I was like, oh, like this, like they played it well enough that for a second I was like, they're going to walk away without him realizing.
But it's also the Sir Jimmy talking up, raising an army of Fingers.
Yeah,
as well. Like he also kind of understands this guy is a problem, and probably if he was taken out now, that's probably for the best. All right. Sometime later, Kelly and Spike are attempting to escape a group of infected, unaware they are observed by Jim and his daughter, Sam, who rush to help them.
What a
short.
I'll say for me watching it in the cinema, I think I had the right people watching it with me, because he's like, you hear the voice off screen and like I recognized it straight away. I was like, oh, cool. Like, and we kind of like knew they had said
it was announced. I completely forgot it was announced that he was going to be in this movie.
Yeah, they announced that he would be in the second.
It was never a thought during this movie, I wonder when he's going to show up.
No, yeah, and it obviously shouldn't be. But as soon as it cut to it and you hear the voice, and you see the house first, and I recognize the house as well, because it's the same one from. At least it looked like the same one from the end of the first film, obviously, where they're staying. And I've actually seen someone, I didn't know this, but I saw someone online say that I think it's the taxis parked outside from the end of the first movie as well, something like that. when he walked onto when Cillian Murphy walked onto screen, a bunch of people in my cinema cheered. So, which I don't think I usually ever have happen outside of like Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So that was its own sort of.
Yeah, I think there was a reaction. It's been a few days, but
which is so weird too because he's in the first movie. Like it's such a. Like I'm excited for his character come back just from to me, the excitement is just seeing Cillian Murphy in the franchise again. Nothing to do with the character. Like it's just because he's such a great actor and he was fantastic in the first movie, but he's done so much more since, and he's now one of our, currently working fantastic, Academy Award winning actors and everything. So having him back in the franchise is just exciting to have Cillian Murphy back in the franchise. The idea of being excited to see the character, I'm like, tell me about the character. He's a dude.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to have to do a little bit of building of that, which they already start doing here by like showing him to be like a building that father figure, intellectual. Don't call me that. That's for sure. Person and well planned out and all. Like they start planting seeds here to reestablish that character, which they're gonna have to do in the next movie. But yeah, it is funny that everyone cheered because I'm like, are we cheering for the character or just for Cillian Murphy?
It's like, yeah, you're not the zombie from the first movie.
Yeah,
the 28 years later zombie that we all thought you were still alive.
But I definitely appreciate because both movies have now obviously had an epilogue. The first one,
an epilogue before the credits.
Before the credits, yeah, which good shit. And yeah, this one obviously again just setting up the third movie. You're like, in a way, I already saw they said that the third one was greenlit, thankfully, before watching it, so that was good because you watch the scene. I'm walking out of the cinema going, yes, start shooting tomorrow, please.
Yes.
Whereas if I didn't have the confirmation, I would have been walking out of the cinema going,
please. I would be especially more nervous after this week. The film only made $31 million worldwide.
Yeah, what the fuck are we doing, people?
Yeah, I don't know what the story is there at the moment. Whether it's just because of the timing of, January is not necessarily a great month, or, obviously here in Australia, a lot of awards-worthy movies are
Academy Award movies usually come out
this sort of time in the lead up to nominations or that kind of stuff. Hopefully this one gets a lot of big word of mouth. I will say the thing I appreciated most about this last scene is the way they use the music, like the classic. I can't remember the name of the track, but the one that everybody knows, building at the end of the film.
Yeah,
I thought that was because obviously they didn't use it at any point during the movie, so use it there. Perfect. Also, I guess they didn't get saved at the end of the first movie. The dude saw their cutout sign. And that was it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Also, do we think Naomi Harris is going to come back?
Well, they didn't say anything. They didn't. Yeah, I mean, maybe, right? Because there's no sign you could definitely say no. They didn't do a quick throwaway line of, hey, it's crazy how your mum died. Or
there's no confirmation either way.
Yeah.
I
mean, there's so many now. There's so many things for that third film to do. I guess it's like introduce Cillian Murphy, but the thing is, like, Cillian Murphy doesn't need that character. Doesn't need his own storyline. His story can sort of be what it is at the end of the day, it's supposed to be Spike's story, right? But it's like you got Spike's story, you got the girl. He'll probably want to go back, I guess, home eventually. You've got the baby. You've got Samson. Like there's so many like things floating around
to potentially explore in the next movie.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
and apparently, I think that I'm not 100% sure because I didn't double check, but I'm pretty sure it was Boyle coming back to do the third one if it got greenlit. I
believe so. Let's see.
I think that's what they were saying. Yeah.
Let's see. It says here.
Which would be
Deadline reported Sony is proceeding with the third. Cillian Murphy in talks to reprise his role. That seems crazy that he's only in talks. Alex Garland writing the script. No official confirmation. That was 11th of December.
I'm pretty sure that was the word going around.
Back in January last year, Boyle confirmed that he would direct the final film in the trilogy. So
okay, cool, yeah. Which considering the larger scale of everything and whatnot, that the third film would go back to, and reuniting him with Cillian Murphy from the original film, and seeing it as presumably this will be the last one. There's no point like to do it 28 centuries later. That would make sense if Boyle came back here.
All right. Any other final things to talk about?
No, it's really good. Really liked it. I think that I'll say that I did think the soundtrack was really good still, even though it was very different to the one done by Young Fathers. I think it's
Yes, I believe so. This one done by Hilda, the lady behind the score for Joker.
There we go. It just had it definitely. Yeah, you hear the
Scandinavian name.
You hear the difference, but I still thought it was very good. It definitely had more of a I don't know, a folkish sort of tone to it. I don't know. It sort of fit the
Jimmy's kind of thing.
It fit this more.
Yeah. All right.
But good job, Nia DaCosta, making Alex Garland's 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, directed by Nia DaCosta.
Yes.
It's good. Real good.
Yeah. She's a solid director, that one. Okay. Hopefully she gets to make something of her own someday.
Yeah. I hope she gets to make a Nia DaCosta's film. Candyman joke will never end. I don't know what this is.
All right. Let us know what you thought of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, by finding us on social media by going to explosionnetwork.com/follow. If you want to help us out here or what do you want to watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser, leave us 5 stars, and you couldn't leave 5 stars, or just tell people about the show. If you want to help us out with financially with this podcast or everything we do over at Explosion Network, including all our other podcasts and reviews and articles, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
I believe the infection can be treated. And now, a leap into the unknown.